Hey everyone, have you ever been in that situation where you desperately needed a few bucks to hold you over until payday? Maybe an unexpected bill came up, or you saw an amazing deal you just couldn't pass up. That's where cash advance apps like FloatMe come in. They seem like a lifesaver, a quick and easy solution to your temporary financial woes. But what happens if you borrow money on FloatMe and then, well, let's just say things get a little tight and you can't quite pay them back on time? The consequences of not paying back FloatMe. Let's be honest, ignoring a financial obligation isn't a great idea. And while FloatMe might seem like a casual way to borrow a few bucks, there can be some real repercussions for not paying them back. So, today we're diving deep into what happens if you don't pay back FloatMe. We'll explore the fees, the impact on your credit score, and even the possibility of debt collection. Fees, glorious fees. First things first, FloatMe isn't exactly known for its charity work. If you don't pay back your advance on time, you're going to get hit with fees. These fees can vary depending on the amount you borrowed and the specific terms of service, but they typically range from a percentage of the advance to a flat fee. Let's say you borrowed $20 with FloatMe. They might add a 10% late fee, which is $2 on top of the original amount. But that's not all. There might also be daily or weekly recurring fees until you settle your debt. These fees can quickly add up, turning that small $20 advance into a much bigger financial headache. The credit score shuffle. Now, let's talk about the credit score monster lurking in the shadows. While FloatMe itself might not directly report your late payment to major credit bureaus like Equifax or Experian, many cash advance apps do. A missed payment could end up on your credit report, dragging down your score. This can make it harder to qualify for loans, credit cards, or even apartments down the line. So that $20 you borrowed to avoid a late payment on another bill could end up costing you way more in the long run if it tanks your credit score. Debt collectors, not your friends. If you completely ignore FloatMe's attempts to collect your payment, things can get even more serious. They might eventually hand your debt over to a collection agency. These guys are the debt collection A-team, and their sole purpose is to get your money back by any means necessary. Expect a barrage of calls, emails, and even letters delivered to your doorstep. They might even threaten legal action. Dealing with debt collectors is stressful and can put a serious strain on your mental well-being. Breaking the cycle, alternatives to consider. Alright, so things aren't looking great if you don't pay back FloatMe. But before you panic, there are ways out of this. Here are a few alternatives to consider. Communicate with FloatMe. Be honest with them about your situation. Sometimes, they might be willing to work out a payment plan to help you settle your debt. Explore other options. Maybe there are other ways to get some quick cash. Look into selling unused items online, reaching out to friends or family for a small loan, or even asking your employer for an advance on your paycheck. Budgeting is your BFF. This might sound obvious, but creating a budget and sticking to it can help you avoid relying on cash advance apps in the future. Track your income and expenses and make sure you're not spending more than you earn. FloatMe, a tool, not a crutch. Cash advance apps can be a useful tool in a pinch. But remember, they're meant for exactly that, emergencies. Don't fall into the trap of using them regularly to cover everyday expenses. There are better ways to manage your finances and avoid the potential pitfalls of not paying them back. The bottom line. So, what happens if you don't pay back FloatMe? Well, it can get messy. You'll likely face late fees, a potential hit to your credit score, and the joy of dealing with debt collectors. If you find yourself in this situation, be proactive. Communicate with FloatMe, explore alternative solutions, and focus on building a budget that keeps your finances on track. With that said, thanks for watching.